How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today I'm going to talk about early retirement and how you can do it with any level of income. Now, I retired early and people like to argue that I'm not really retired early, but the thing is, I can actually not do YouTube, just completely cut it off, completely annihilate any benefit I get from YouTube, and I can still survive. That is what I personally call, and a lot of other people call, lean fire. I would actually call this normal fire because I'm actually not really lean fire because I'm still doing a lot of other things that I like travel. The way I spend money is not really restricting, although a lot of people would say that, oh, I'm saving too crazily, but this is what I'm comfortable with, and I actually do buy things that I do really want. To me, there's a lot of debate on how to actually retire early, because on one side you have people that says, oh, you should save as much as possible, and this would have a double effect because you would reduce your expenses every single year and it would boost your savings rate, making you be able to retire earlier. Now, there's a simple way to think of this in terms of how much you save. Everybody's gonna make a different level of income, right? Someone might make 50K and some engineer in the Silicon Valley might make 100K. So let's just talk about savings rate here, right? No matter what kind of income you make, you have to look at how much you actually save, because this will tell you your burn rate as well. To make numbers very easy, let's say someone makes 100K and you have a 10% savings rate, which means you save about 10% of your salary. This means that you use 90% of your salary, or 90K, right? So if you socking away $10,000 every year, you have to do this for 9 whole years. Oh my gosh, 9 whole years is a really long time. This is basically what most people do. They save only 10% of their income. So 9 years will earn you 1 year of retirement. So how long do you have to do this before you can earn enough retirement to save for 30 years? This essentially means, in a simplistic way, you have to work for 270 years before you can save enough cash to retire for 30 years. Because, let's say you retire at 65 and possibly you live till 95, and that basically means that you're never going to retire because you're never going to have enough saved up money. Now, all of this is discounting the fact that you may be making investment gains if you're investing it properly in the S&P 500 index, 8% every single year, compounded annual growth rate or whatnot. But the thing with early retirement is you don't have enough years to compound to make any significant dent. So when you are trying to go for early retirement, you're doing it very, very rapidly, maybe 5 years or 10 years or so. So investing gains have a lot less effect if you are trying to retire early. The majority factor here to retire early really is your savings rate. So let's look at down the chart some more. If you save 20%, it means you're spending 80K a year. This means you have to save for 4 whole years before you make 1 year. If you save for 30%, you essentially save 0.43 years for every year that you work. If you save 50%, this makes things really easy, right? If you make 100K, you save 50%, which is 50K. It's a lot of money. You essentially can retire for 1 whole year. So indefinitely, you can technically think of this as you work 1 year and then you take a full year off, and then the next year you come back and work 1 year, take a full year off. So some people can do this for, non-career related type of jobs, not engineering. You can't come back easily 1 year like this, but possibly for lower paying jobs, right? If you just do, barista or something, and you make, let's say, 30K, and you only spend 15K a year. People do this, just work 1 year, and then they go vacation, travel the world, and try to only spend 15K every year. And then they come back the year after running out all their money, and then they work again. So the interesting part here is when your savings rate gets really, really high. When you save 60% of your salary, you're saving 60K, you spend 40K, right? Just, you can do the ratio for any kind of salary that you do make. You're essentially saving a year and a half. So 1 year of work, you can retire for a year and a half. It gets better because as you reduce your burn rate, or how much you actually spend, the number of years that you save per year that you're working, just working 1 single year, exponentially increases. So this is why it's so important to save a lot and habitually make your burn rate really, really low. Look at, if you're able to save 80% of your income and you only spend 20K, this is really close to what I personally do. You save 4 years of retirement for every single year that you work. If you do this for 10 years, if you always save 80% of your income for 10 whole years, you can retire at the end of those 10 years. If you save 90%, wow, you save 9 years of retirement. So you can essentially only work for maybe 3.5 years or so, and then you can retire living on only 10K. Now, this is pretty ridiculous, right? 10K is very, very little. It's very, very bare bones, and I'm not even sure if I can personally do it myself. So some people are a little bit better at saving, and your personal standard of living varies from person to person. It all depends if, as you're working, did you somehow increase your standard of living and you are very used to it, and all of a sudden, let's say you have to spend 40K a year to live, and let's say you make 100K, so this is a 60% savings rate. You only save a year and a half. This might mean you have to work for quite a long time, a really, really long time. Let's say 20 years in order to save 30 years of retirement. Now, the very interesting part of all this is if somehow you're able to save 100% of your income. Now, how does this ever happen? Probably with a little bit of financial trickery, right? Do you count your residual income as your actual income? This chart is really representing your salary income. All this other income sources does not count towards, this calculation. So that's why you can save all of this salary, and somehow on the side you're making, I don't know, YouTube videos or like affiliate commissions or things like that. If all of this pays for your daily life, then something magical happens, because if you're saving 100% of your salary, it means you don't need any of it. That means you don't actually have to work. This is kind of like the situation I put myself in, because I changed over to trying to earn a little bit more on YouTube, on dividends, on interest and things like that. So technically, like I said in the beginning, I don't have to do my YouTube stuff. That's why I keep on telling people I'm semi-retired, regular FIRE, financially independent, retired early. And I can still just survive just fine. So you can see here, if you save 100% of your income, it's actually off the charts. It gets really crazy because it's not even saving 25 years of retirement per year that you work. It essentially means that every single year you work, all that money, you don't really need it. It just sits there. You can just kind of put it towards your retirement account. You can try to think of it as maybe you can put this towards a fat fire lifestyle. This is essentially what I personally like to do. And with that said, I am over here in Austin, and I went over to Mozart Coffee. And then if you take a look around with the drone, you can see me here flying around with the drone, just leisurely hanging out on the middle of a Monday afternoon, 2 p.m., financially independent, retired early, just kind of hanging out, using my drone for fun. This was actually really fun for me, just to take video of the surrounding area wherever I happen to be. You can see a dam over there where I think they're probably generating a little bit of electricity for the surrounding areas. Just hanging around on the dock over here, and these are the things that you can look forward to when you retire early. So this is why I stress the savings rate so much, and it's my primary method of early retirement. Can you imagine if I spend twice as much, which isn't all that much for most people? It might be an average spending. If I, let's say, spend 40K a year, I need that much more. It means I need $1 million worth of cash sitting around. This is outside of what my home costs, and I need that to generate passive income, the 4% rule and stuff. So out of all this, you can imagine it's not really the income that you make. Yes, you can go around, increasing your standard of living, and you can say, oh yeah, I earn $50 an hour, so I can pay people $50 an hour all the time to do my laundry. I can get all this food service delivered to me, but I don't. I keep my expenses really, really low, and all of this really helps towards my savings rate. As you can see here, your savings rate has everything to do with your early retirement. The higher a savings rate that you have, the earlier that you can retire. This, of course, has a lot to do with your income level. If you only make 25K and you're trying to do a 50% savings rate, it means you only spend 12, 13K every year. This is going to be a pretty hard life, I would say. 13K probably is like the minimum that you can spend, and you are probably not enjoying a lot of things. You're not getting a lot of the premium stuff that life has to offer. You're just eating very, very simply. Not that there's anything wrong with this, okay? This has more to do with if you are personally comfortable with that standard of living, and do you want to keep on working so that you can increase your standard of living. If you make 100K and you're comfortable with spending 50K, which is a lot depending on how you spend it, then it's going to take you a really long time to retire because you're only saving 1 year of retirement every single year that you work. So you can see from these examples, it's not really how much you make, it's your savings rate. You can make 200K every single year, but if you end up having a very lavish lifestyle and spend 100K every single year on your living expenses, this essentially means you're stuck working the rest of your life. And do you really want to do this? Some people might go, why don't you just spend a little bit more, enjoy life a little bit, go on the first class tickets? I would say though, if you look at a lot of the FIRE people, the early retirement people, they are frugal people. They're not actually the type that goes around spending a lot of money, because it's really easy to spend twice as much, but it's really hard to suddenly earn twice as much. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this video really explains how important your savings rate is and how me pushing myself so hard in terms of savings actually helped me retire early, a lot earlier actually, than if I were not. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to give me a like, comment down below, let me know what you guys think, and I don't know. If you feel like it, you can leave your savings rate down in the video description below. And as always, don't forget to push that subscribe button and ring that bell icon. Thanks for watching.